So here we are on the spring deployments just after the of the third turn, just after the spring deployments. So what do we got? The Turks moved forward. Now they played the Venetian Informer, and they saw that the Habsburgs have a pretty potent hand. So yeah, like you saw that. But they played up all the way forward in Vienna. Their intention is to try to defend. They know they're going to face a war in Persia, for example. The Habsburgs moved Charles all the way to Mohawks. They're taking kind of a risky gamble. He moved his 5 strength points. There's no fleets in the way going up into the Adriatic. So he was able to deploy there, and he's planning on trying to cut the Turks off that way. Elsewhere, the English moved Brandon back into Antwerp. They really want to take Brussels. That's a weak spot in their link. They want to do other things mainly. The wars that we have right now, France and England remained allied for the turn. Habsburgs and France declared peace. Just a white peace. Everything else remained as it is. So the French are at war with the papacy, the Turks with the Habsburgs, the British with the Habsburgs. All right, where was I? Right, the French moved forward to Lyon. Basically, Montmorency was in a bad position, so it looks like continuing the war against the papacy is not going to be as easy as one would hope. And the papacy moved their forces up to Milan. That leaves an exposed Rome, which might mean a naval action against that side of things. So the Ottomans defeat Charles. He falls back to Agram and gathers up some local troops to aid him. And what else is exciting? The English. Anne Boleyn was married, but well, she's in the Tower right now for. Maybe it wasn't Anne that he married. Maybe it was her sister. French and papacy gathered up their resources. Papacy defended Rome itself by building a mercenary after France built an extra navy. We had a couple of key events happen. The Defender of the Faith was played there, which didn't do much. Hamburg switched over to Catholic. Papacy, we know what they did. The Protestants just advanced the English Bible. Military actions, Charles evades Suleiman, and then, I got the wrong people? No. And then Ibrahim is sent off to war with the Persians. This frees things up so Ferdinand can actually come down and maybe retake Vienna or more. English invested in Brussels. French moved their forces together after deciding a naval invasion wasn't palatable, and unfortunately they gathered them all together in an unsanitary camp. I think it was the priests spreading the diseases. British, actually I think they invested Brussels last time. British sent an explorer. Charles's masterful campaign continues as he evades Suleiman again, and now Vienna's being sieged by Ferdinand. Brits end up taking Brussels. And they also spent some points on establishing Jamestown. What else? French kind of abandoned their plans to go into Italy and just grabbed themselves another victory point, taking the chance this time. So the papacy instituted a debate against Karlstadt using Eck. Luther inserts himself, ends up being a 1-point Catholic victory. Protestants return back and do some translation and some attacks, and you can kind of see everything just keeps swinging kind of back and forth. Charles's luck ran out and Suleiman caught him, but he did manage to escape after combat and reach Vienna. The siege failed, however, so far. He's still got a card left, but they did clean up the Comuneros. like the siege, Abraham's war in Persia was a mixed affair. He did not take it out. See what else we got. Brits built up power. I don't know. Oh yeah, Francis got himself excommunicated. The Pope, seeing that's the only way to force him to make peace, and because we'll see if it happens or not, but you definitely want him excommunicated if you're going to keep fighting. And the Schmalkaldic League formed. You'll see all the Protestant spaces that were controlled, all the spaces that were Protestant are now controlled by the Protestant player. Just before we move to the end, Vienna fell. John Frederick made an attack on empty Prague and failed. Would have been kind of a bonus to steal that from the Protestants, or from the Habsburgs. What is kind of scary is the English, after they passed, Jane Seymour got a total of 6. Gives the English 5 more victory points for Edward, and that's putting them dangerously close to winning the game, especially given that the papacy can lose lots of points fairly quickly. So we're probably going to see an anti-English alliance forming, unless they win it this turn off these. We'll see that in a moment. English discoveries failed, both the Discoverer and the Conquistador. The Conquistador got eaten. So the game's not over yet. Barbary Pirates showed up, mandatory, and we'll be starting turn 4, I guess.